Give me and I'll show you this, right? So this is like a really older board, right? With the older style MCBs, and then this is what we have in a kind of older RCD, this bit, and this is protecting these two circuits, which is sockets and sockets. So these circuits here, the cooker, don't know what that says, immerser, that's for the hot water cylinder. Your lights and lights are not RCD protected, they're off the main switch, alright? Where the cable entries are coming, we would want to pick that up and try and make that so that the cables are secured either by clips or a bit of trunking, right? It's not that bad, but it is going to be something that we want to try and pick up so that the cables are not going to be rubbing against anything, so we want them clipped up or in a bit of trunking, and then this hole kind of fills up, and then coming to this as well. With that there's a missing skirt from it, so see the wee pins here, there's a risk of getting an electric shock off the pins. Right. And then obviously we've got missing detector. Right. That's missing. Also in here, so we've got the cracked socket as well. So basically every time you put a plug in there, it's not going to give you an actual solid connection. And we've also got the same issue with that. It is only a missing skirt, but it's still got a very high potential of electric shock. Same in here. So the actual cores are not, or the flex is not got any grip on it to hold it up. So that should get pulled out any time. Then we've got this here. So this socket here is actually been spurred off of another socket. Who's going to win out of the... What is that song, the Milky Way song? What is that? A blue car and a red car has a race?
Don't know, mate, I don't watch enough TV.
It's
don't
not
know the ads.
TV, it's an ad. I suppose you're too young for that shit, man. Blue car and the red car.
The green one is winning.
The green one is, you're going to get fucking keel over. He's actually going to fall over. You'd have a wee thumbs up, man.
that was horrible, man. I hated that.
Did she give you the thumbs up?
No, man, she just looked afraid.
Have you ever been in fucking Milkport? Tell me you've been in Milkport.
Can't say I have, no.
Turn left, then your destination will be on the right.
I've just been in Hamilton.
I need to actually have a chat with your mum.
Your destination is on the right.
There you go. Smell you later. I reckon down here. Better lock that in case it gets stolen.
Oh, better close your bag as well before it all falls out. Jesus Christ, mate.
There's a skill set involved in that. No falling out yet. What do you reckon? What floor?
Top. That's first guess every time, aye.
I reckon second top. Thank God I'm not an athlete. Oh, look at that, man. Would you want to live here? Yeah, good.
Depends on the noise. I really
That is pretty noisy, man.
couldn't tolerate the noise if it was too bad.
I saw a couple of nice boats, man. Anyway, let's go and get started. Fucking hell, man, there's never ever any lights. Right, so.
Up closer.
Right, so before any EICR, you really want to get familiarised with the property and the fuse box before you kind of get started with it. Right, so 2 fuse boxes in here. I am guessing there's no gas in this property, so it's all electric. So 1 fuse box is going to be just guessing your off-peak supply, and the other one is going to be for your 24-hour supply. So this one here is for your off-peak supply, and that is coming through this meter here. So this meter here controls this fuse box, that meter there controls that fuse box, alright? So this is on 24 hours a day, this one is only on in off-peak times. Storage heaters come on in off-peak times, and same with your water heater. And then also the water heater has a 24-hour supply, as well as all the panel heaters and your shower. Alright, so what we mean here is you have 2 elements, top and bottom. The bottom one is always your 20J, always your off-peak element. So this bottom one heats up as much of this tank as possible in off-peak times to save a bit of electricity or save a bit of power. And then this one here is your 24-hour supply, so you can boost it at any time of the day to give you a wee bit of extra hot water if you ever run out. And these 2 spots here are the isolation points for these 2 elements. That's them, alright? Then your storage heater self-explanatory. They store here during the night and let it out. Then your 24-hour board. Right, so let's have a talk about the boards. So you have your main power coming in, you have a PME system protected by this fuse, which is saying it's 100 amp. We can't confirm it because we need to cut the tags to pull it out. Right? It then comes through your isolator and then goes to your associated meters and out to the board. Now the boards here, your tails coming into them, and these are plastic boards, so they're non-fire rated. Same with this one up here. Then we have RCDs controlling these here. So we do have RCD protection on this, but no RCD protection on that, and are both non-fire rated. We don't have SPDs, which is to help protect the property and everything's inside the property from lightning strikes. And we don't have any AFDDs as well, which are arc flash detection units. So that means if there's any arcing and anything that's plugged into sockets, then they would detect the arc flash and trip it out, so we don't have that. So, while we're in here, we'll do some function tests. So, that's working, that's working, they're all working. And then what we'll do is we'll just quickly go around the property and make sure everything's working. We'll see if we can pick anything up that's not working. That's for the shower, it's not isolated to be honest. So that is not isolated. Alright, so that is broken. So we'll put that up in our first observations. So it's not drying the shower on and off. We've got 2 lamps not working. That would not get picked up on an EICR because it's not causing any risk. Alright. This is potentially causing risk, it's not isolating the shower. If it was happens to go on fire or something happened, nobody can isolate it. Let's see if the frame has an isolator. So the front does have an isolator. That's it coming on, alright. And then also when we're going down doing our checks, what we want to do is physically unplug everything from all the sockets, switch off all the lights, so that when we're doing our insulation resistance testing, it's not going through any appliances that's plugged in, or going through any electronic sensitive equipment, i.e. transformers for these lights. Alright. So we've got spurs in place. I think it'll be for the appliances. We're all over here. Double pull switches that are switching all our appliances on. We'll just check to make sure that they are actually working. So we'll switch all them off as well. Here's your storage heater. This one here has got 3 elements. 1, 2, 3. So this is like a 3.6 kilowatt usually. 1.2 kilowatts per element. And in off-peak times, these elements heat up, and inside this heater is heating bricks, or storage heater bricks. And what happens is the elements heat up the bricks, and then they become hot. And during the day, that allows the heat to come back out. So the 2 controls here, you have your input and your output. Your input is how hot these elements get to heat up the bricks, and the output, which this one, oh, can you hear that? I don't know if we can see it.
Aye, I heard
Can you see it?
I see this metal thing.
Aye, so that is basically your output. That's how fucking sophisticated it is. All that does is open a flap to let the hot air out. Right, so when you're storing the heat in your heater, you want the flap to be fucking closed, man. And then when you want the heat to come out, you want the flap to be open. Alright, that sounds quite funny and dirty when I say that, but that's what it is. So you want to keep your flaps closed to get the heat in, and then when you want a bit of heat, you want to open the flaps up. Alright. And then what's good about this heater is, so this one here is your switch for your off-peak, and this one here is a bit like your hot water system. You can boost it, and what that does, there will be a wee filament element in here that will heat up and give you a wee bit of instant heat, and that's controlled with that there, so you could hear it clicking on. That's it, and that just gives you a wee bit of instant heat if the storage heaters run out of heat. Alright, so as always, we'll switch them all back off. We don't want to damage it when we're putting test voltages down it. And then just allow it to look out, see? What have you, Look at the difference, right? Look at that, right? To the older style. So you think of it, right? That would have been the old council blocks of flats that would have been for the docks back in the day, and then as with times went on, it's got a bit more desirable. They've built all these kind of fancy ones around the docks because the workers are not working on the docks like what they used to. Anyway, let's get back into it. One heat detector, which there is new regulations for this that has changed. So this is an open plan kitchen living room, and you are now only required to have one detector, and it's got to be a heat detector, as long as the furthest point in a room is no more than 7.5 metres from the detector. So let's try and pace this out, right? So one big step for mankind from here is usually 1 metre, right? So I am effectively below this detector, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's safely say that's 6 metres, alright? So effectively this is enough for this area, but there should be one in the hallway as well, which we do have. And while we're talking about them, am I tall enough to reach them? Oh fuck. I'm using a brush. And we'll just give the dates a recheck in a minute. Right, anyway, let's go on to do some testing.
We forgot the iPad. We need the iPad. This is one of the good things One of the things the engineers can enjoy about having a wee camera guy with them is that the wee camera guy can run down to the van when things are forgotten. And then the camera guy gets wet. Right, come on, come on, come on, please. Wow, what is happening? Open. Right. There we go. So, there it is. Right, sorted. Cool, back to the flat. Lock. Quick, how do I do it? Oh, happy with that. Right, back to the house. Certificate coming right up. Oh no, is it not going to open this time? Yes. Right. Success.
So these lights are actually not fire rated, and they are still old GU10 lamp, very hot. They're not LED. Yep, so that's something we're going to have to pick up. They're not fire rated, so there's no fire hoods on them. See, these spring ones here, they go back hitting my fingers. Oof. A couple of things not right here. That tape down there at the connection are no good, and there's no fire rating. So basically what that means is this ceiling has a fire rating, so if there's a fire here, the fire can spread through. So if you cut a hole in it and put a light in it, then the fire rating of that light has to be the same as what the ceiling was, because you have effectively taken that out. Alright, so these need to have a big dome on them to absorb the heat transfer from the lamp. So why I change all these for fire rated downlights, I've put LED lamps in, which is really not the right way of doing it, but a lot of landlords don't like to pay the money to actually change the full fittings, but we will have to let them know that that needs done, and also how they've just not been very well connected, right? Or that should be inside here, or into a kind of chalk box, a termination box. So we'll get pictures of that and show them, but look how many lights there is here. Anyway, you're just here to tell them what's wrong. It's up to them if they fix it. Now we have come Bosch. So these are called centrifugal fans. You can call them a shoebox fan, centrifugal fan. So what happens is that starts to spin and sucks air out and takes it away, because from there to wherever it's going outside is too far for a normal standard 4-inch extractor fan. So these are a lot more powerful than normal ones. So the reason centrifugal fans are fitted in bathrooms or like this is because there is no window in here, so there's no ventilation. So they rely on that. That was the older way of doing it. Now what they have is they'll put in like a trickle fan that picks up moisture in the air and it comes on automatically. Where this comes on with a light switch with that's its isolation point. The reason why you've got an isolation point on the fan is, so this should always be on all the time, so that as soon as you put your lights on, the fan comes on. There's a timer on this, so it will run on for 30 seconds. So the reason the isolator's here is so you can have your lights on and you can isolate the fan so that periodically you can hoover that out and clean it. As a tenant or a homeowner, that's what you're meant to do every 3 to 6 months, is clean that out with a hoover or a dry brush to make it work more efficiently. Alright?
I mean, look at the houses, right? On a pure lovely waterfront. It just doesn't add up, does it? Flat roof as well. You think all the water will be sitting on the fucking flat roof? Very true. Miss perfection. So you think it was like miss perfection, as in like it's a miss? As in like...
No, I think you got it right. I think that she is meaning that she is Miss Perfection,
But
you're thinking she's missing the perfection.
I think that interpretation could be made reasonably.
It's actually some fucking good actual graffiti.
Oh, aye.
Saltcoats.
Aye.
Hey, I'm totally fucking lost now. Fucking was down that way, man. I'm getting the cutter on. I actually need to see that camera.
Oh, sorry, yeah, good. Fucking hell.
Thank you. Cafe di Greco.
Del Greco.
Del Greco. It's not really Italian, is it? Del Greco, or is it?
I know the word del from every hotel in Spain. Casa del Sol.
What does it mean? What does Del mean?
Of. So Casa del Sol would be House of the Sun, and then you get Casa el Sueño, it's like the beach and all this.
El Sueno?
Something like that, I can't actually remember. Sueño, maybe that's another word for sun.
Right, where are we again? Saltcoats? Let's see, Chinese restaurant in Saltcoats. It's up here on the right, it says. Fucking hell, I wasn't expecting that speed bump. The Galleon Centre, I used to play hockey in there. You should go down there and play hockey. There's an speed bump. Off at this time. Aye, Kilmarnock, man. It's always sunny in Kilmarnock.
Wait, there we are, new 5-star.
No way.
Boom boom, right above William Hill.
It's actually a big fucking restaurant. Right, we need to find something to park. Oh man, we're going to have to go the way right round again. This is a main road. Did it say on the door? There.
Off where? Oh wow, right, sound right, go. Right, back in a second. Right, we do. Aye.
We're in our last job today. It's only just a quick electrical check and checking that the smoke alarms are up to date for people moving in. So, Fusebox in here, and we have, again, old style board, and the cover's actually cracked on it. Alright, but anyway, RCD, protecting half it again, main switch. Nothing really that bad in here. It's old, it's dated, it's not to today's standard, but it's acceptable, alright? But there is things that are not acceptable. Is nothing to do with the EICR, but there's a boiler in here, and we have no carbon monoxide detector in this property, so you do that. That heat detector is okay. That smoke detector is okay, other than it being too close to the wall, so we're going to have to move that 300mm in. In the living room, everything is okay in here. Smoke detector again is too close to the wall, so we'll get that out. Upstairs, come with me and I'll show you a couple of things that we have picked up on. Right. Oh, that just broke, literally live. Anyway, non-IP rated light, and it is in the zone that you can touch when you're in the bath or shower. Effectively, that needs to be an enclosed light and be fully IP rated. We also have a C1 condition, or I'm going to call it a C1 stroke C2 condition, where there is a potential of touching a very live part. So that fuse holder is broke and you can actually see the fuses, alright? And that's for the fan. Right. I've actually isolated it downstairs, so that if anybody's to come in here and work in the property, we're not going to get electric shock, so I'll notify that on the board. And then also in this room in here, I'm going to pick this up because I think somebody could put a table here or a desk or something or a bed, and you've got this bit of cable which is not clipped or protected by a bit of trunking. It's just actually drilled through the hole. It's actually coming out here, going along here and then up and into that socket. Alright, I can't pull the carpet back, but I can feel it. It's right here. Alright, so we need to fix that and either disconnect it or redo it, bring the cable up behind the wall and then. So when I need to mechanically protect that or strip it out. I know there is regulations, but as long as it's protected by an RCD and all this carry on, but that is something I'm definitely going to pick up. And also in this room in here, we have second spider of the house. I think there's another spider in the bathroom, but maybe disappeared. We've got a light pendant without a skirt on it. Alright, and now you have potential for electric shock here again, so we'll get a new light pendant on that, because that's the older style and you won't get the skirts for them anymore. Now it's very dated anyway, we'll get that replaced. I think that's it, so we'll report back to the client on that one. We'll check these smokies over here. Oh, a wee slight delay, but all good, man. It's such a boiler bit. I topped up the pressure on that boiler because it was actually sitting too low and got it up and running just to make sure. I'm also going to pick up where the boiler is pumping, and can you see that? That should be inside the boiler or protected somehow. Yep, so we'll go and get a couple of pictures of that as well. I've never seen that earlier. So what we're doing here is we're just taking pictures so we can actually give the client an idea of what it is it's wrong. So we'll take a series of these pictures and then they can easily explain it to the landlord what the issues are. Alright. Get out of here.